The legacy of smooth voices and timeless storytelling in country music. A tribute to Jim Reeves and Don Williams. Don Williams, the gentle giant of country music. Don Williams, often referred to as the gentle giant of country music, was one of the most beloved and influential artists of his era. His deep, calm baritone voice, combined with a laid-back, unassuming persona, won him a special place in the hearts of country music fans around the world. Here is a deeper look into his legacy. 1. The voice of Don Williams. Don Williams' voice was perhaps his most striking feature. His warm, rich baritone became the hallmark of his music. Unlike the more emotive, high-energy performances common in country music, Williams' vocal style was understated, gentle, and soothing, which led to him being called the gentle giant of the genre. His voice effortlessly conveyed the simplicity and honesty of the songs he sang, offering a sense of calm that resonated with listeners. 2. Musical style and influences. Williams' music had a distinctive, mellow sound that bridged the gap between traditional country and the softer, more pop-oriented country that emerged in the 1970s and 1980s. While he stayed true to the country genre, his style was often more laid-back and reflective compared to many of his contemporaries. His songs often explored themes of love, life, heartache, and personal introspection, making them universally relatable. He was deeply influenced by classic country artists like Hank Williams, as well as the folk and western sounds that were present in the broader American music landscape. However, he also embraced the softer sounds of the Nashville pop movement, which helped him appeal to a wider audience. 3. Breakthrough hits and iconic songs. Don Williams' career was marked by numerous hits that have become staples of country music. Some of his most famous songs include Tulsa Time in 1978. Perhaps his most iconic song, Tulsa Time became a classic country anthem, combining a catchy melody with Williams' signature smooth delivery. I Believe in You in 1980. This song became one of his biggest hits and is considered a timeless ballad of devotion. Its simple yet powerful lyrics resonated with listeners and solidified Williams as a key figure in country music. You Are My Best Friend in 1975. This heartwarming song about love and partnership became a huge hit and is one of Williams' most beloved tracks. Some Broken Hearts Never Mend in 1977. A poignant song about heartbreak, this track highlighted Williams' ability to convey emotion with subtlety and grace. Williams' success on the charts was not just about his vocal ability but also the quality of his songwriting and the simplicity of his musical arrangements, which often allowed the lyrics to shine. 4. Persona: the gentle giant. Despite his towering frame, Williams was known for his humble, quiet nature offstage. His nickname, the Gentle Giant, reflected both his physical presence and his gentle, unpretentious approach to life and music. Unlike many of his peers, he did not crave the spotlight, preferring a more private life. His humility and authenticity earned him immense respect from both fans and fellow artists. 5. Legacy and influence. Don Williams' influence on country music cannot be overstated. While he did not always fit into the mold of a typical country music star with flashy performances or dramatic flair, his music and persona left an indelible mark on the genre. His straightforward, yet deeply emotional style set him apart from other artists of his time. In addition to his own success, Williams inspired a new generation of artists, including Garth Brooks, Alan Jackson, and Keith Urban, who admired his ability to blend classic country roots with modern sensibilities. His music continues to be celebrated by fans of all ages, and his albums remain a touchstone for anyone seeking to understand the enduring appeal of classic country music. 6. Enduring popularity. Even in the years following his passing in 2017, Don Williams remains a beloved figure in country music. His songs continue to be played on country radio, and his albums are still cherished by listeners who appreciate the depth, sincerity, and timeless nature of his music. The Gentle Giant may have left us, but his music and his legacy are here to stay. In sum, Don Williams was much more than just a country singer. He was a symbol of simplicity, sincerity, and authenticity in a world where those qualities can often feel rare. His music, like the man himself, was grounded, humble, and deeply relatable, making him a lasting icon of the country music world. The influence of Jim Reeves on country music. Jim Reeves is often considered one of the most important and influential figures in the history of country music. His smooth, baritone voice and distinctive style helped shape the genre in ways that are still felt today. Known for his mastery of the Nashville sound, Reeves' contributions transcended the boundaries of traditional country, helping to pave the way for the modern country pop crossover that would emerge in the 1960s and beyond. Let us explore his lasting influence on country music. 1. The voice of Jim Reeves, a smooth, baritone legacy. Jim Reeves' voice was the cornerstone of his success. His rich, smooth baritone was unlike the rough, twangy voices of traditional country singers, giving him a more polished and accessible sound. This made his music palatable not just for country fans but for a much broader audience, including mainstream pop listeners. His ability to convey emotion with subtlety was one of his trademarks. Unlike many of his contemporaries who often delivered songs with overt emotional intensity, Reeves' approach was understated, allowing listeners to connect with his music on a deeper, more personal level. Songs like He Will Have to Go in 1959 became instant classics because of this unique style, and his voice became synonymous with the Nashville sound. 2. The Nashville sound and country pop crossover. Jim Reeves was a key figure in the development of the Nashville sound in the late 1950s and early 1960s, a movement that aimed to make country music more mainstream by incorporating elements of pop, jazz, and orchestral arrangements. The Nashville sound helped country music break out of its regional confines and gain national and international recognition. Before the Nashville sound, country music was often more raw and regional in its appeal. Artists like Hank Williams and Ernest Tubb laid the groundwork for the genre, but their styles were often more traditional and rooted in Western swing or honky-tonk. Reeves, along with producers like Chet Atkins and Owen Bradley, ushered in a new era that softened the rough edges of country and incorporated lush string sections, smooth background vocals, and more sophisticated production values. Songs like He Will Have to Go and Four Walls are prime examples of this crossover, with their polished orchestration and romantic themes. This new, smoother style made country music more palatable to a wider audience, helping to bring it into the mainstream. 3. Cross-genre appeal, blending country with pop and gospel. Jim Reeves was one of the first country artists to successfully cross over into pop music. His chart-topping singles did not just find a home on country radio, they also topped pop and adult contemporary charts, which was a significant achievement at the time. His songs appealed to listeners of all musical tastes, from hardcore country fans to mainstream pop listeners. Beyond pop, Reeves was deeply influenced by gospel music, which was another key component of his sound. Beyond pop, Reeves was deeply influenced by gospel music, which was another key component of his sound. As a devout Christian, he often incorporated gospel themes into his songs, and many of his albums included gospel tracks. His 1963 album We Thank Thee is a prime example of his reverence for the genre, with heartfelt renditions of hymns and spirituals. Reeves' ability to blend country, pop, and gospel music allowed him to reach a broader audience than most of his contemporaries, making him a pioneer in creating a sound that was both commercially viable and artistically enduring. 4. Emotional storytelling, a master of the ballad. One of Jim Reeves' greatest strengths was his ability to tell emotional stories through song. He became a master of the ballad, and many of his hits revolve around themes of love, heartache, longing, and personal reflection. His ability to convey these emotions through his rich voice was unmatched. For example, He Will Have to Go tells the story of a man trying to save his relationship over the phone. It is a beautifully simple yet emotionally charged song that showcases Reeves' talent for creating relatable, poignant narratives. Four Walls is another powerful ballad, where the singer reflects on loneliness and yearning. The understated delivery, paired with the song's poignant lyrics, evokes a sense of melancholy that resonates deeply with listeners. Reeves' mastery of the ballad form influenced countless country singers, both in his era and in the years that followed. His emphasis on storytelling would continue to be a defining characteristic of country music. 5. Lasting impact on future country artists. Jim Reeves' influence extended well beyond his lifetime. His smooth vocal style and his ability to blend country with other genres laid the groundwork for future generations of country artists who would follow in his footsteps. Artists such as Patsy Cline, Glen Campbell, and Johnny Cash were all impacted by the sound that Reeves helped to create, with its blend of country instrumentation and pop-friendly arrangements. Even contemporary artists have acknowledged the impact of Reeves' style. For example, modern country pop artists like Keith Urban and Alan Jackson have occasionally cited Jim Reeves as an influence on their own vocal delivery and musical approach. Reeves' contribution to the softening of country sound also paved the way for artists like George Strait, Vince Gill, and Randy Travis, who all used elements of the smooth Nashville sound in their own work. His pioneering of the crossover success has allowed country music to have broader appeal in the pop and adult contemporary markets, a trend that continues to this day. 6. The timelessness of Jim Reeves' music. Jim Reeves' music remains timeless. His ability to deliver a song with emotional depth, while keeping the arrangement simple and accessible, made his work incredibly relatable to multiple generations of listeners. His recordings continue to be popular on classic country radio and are regularly featured in collections of the greatest country music ever made. Additionally, his influence has extended to both pop music and the modern country genre. His songs still inspire new interpretations and covers by artists from different genres, and his music is often cited as foundational in the broader evolution of American popular music. A legacy of smooth sound and cross-genre influence. Jim Reeves' influence on country music is immense and multifaceted. Through his smooth, emotional vocal delivery, he helped shape the Nashville sound, making country music more accessible to mainstream audiences. His ability to blend country, pop, and gospel elements created a sound that has stood the test of time. As a storyteller, he elevated the country ballad to new emotional heights, influencing future generations of artists to pursue similar expressive forms. Today, Jim Reeves remains a key figure in understanding the evolution of country music, and his songs continue to resonate with audiences around the world. Country music as a storytelling medium. A tradition of narrative and emotion. Country music is not just a genre, it is a medium for storytelling. From its early days in the Appalachian Hills to its widespread commercial success today, country music has consistently relied on its rich tradition of narrative to connect with audiences. Whether through tales of love, heartbreak, life lessons, or personal struggles, country songs are built around lyrics that invite listeners into a world of vivid characters and emotional journeys. In this way, country music is not just about the melodies, it is about the stories they tell and the emotional experiences they evoke. Let us explore the role of storytelling in country music and why it remains one of the genre's most enduring features. 1. The origins of storytelling in country music. Country music roots are deeply tied to oral traditions, folk music, and balladry, all of which are inherently storytelling mediums. Early country music drew from European folk songs, Anglo-Saxon ballads, and African-American blues traditions. These forms were rich with narratives that conveyed everything from historical events to personal struggles, often reflecting the lives of common people. Traditional folk songs and ballad. Songs like The Long Black Veil and The Wreck of the Old 97 exemplify country music's foundational reliance on narrative. The stories told in these songs, whether about a doomed love affair or a tragic train crash, are driven by emotion, morality, and fate, elements that continue to be central to the country genre today. Rural life and real struggles. Country music often focused on rural and working-class life, which was a way to reflect the experiences of its audience. Songs like I Am a Man of Constant Sorrow, the version by the Stanley Brothers, popularized by the "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" soundtrack tells stories of hardship, loss, and longing, universal themes that resonate on an emotional level. This connection between storytelling and country music became an essential part of the genre identity. 2. Storytelling through the country ballad. The country ballad is perhaps the most iconic form of storytelling in the genre. These songs often involve slow tempos, poignant lyrics, and narratives that evoke deep emotions such as love, loss, or regret. Country ballads are marked by their focus on lyrical detail and character development, which allow the listener to envision the story in vivid detail. Key features of country ballads. First-person narratives. Many country ballads are told from a first-person perspective, making them feel personal and intimate. The listener is invited to experience the emotions and perspectives of the protagonist in the song. A strong emotional core. Whether it is the sorrow of losing a loved one or the joy of finding true love, the emotions in country ballads are front and center. This emotional transparency is what draws listeners in. Character-driven plots. Country ballads often revolve around ordinary people dealing with life's most basic emotions: love, betrayal, longing, and redemption. These characters may not be famous or heroic, but their stories feel deeply relatable. Examples of classic country ballads. "He Will Have to Go" by Jim Reeves. A song of unrequited love, where the protagonist pleads with his lover to stay on the line as he listens to her talk to another man. The simplicity of the story and the deep emotional impact make it a quintessential country ballad. "I Will Always Love You" by Dolly Parton. Though more widely known for Whitney Houston version, Dolly Parton original is a deeply personal, heart-wrenching farewell, showcasing a love that is eternal despite separation. 3. Songs as windows into real life. The country story song. Beyond the ballads, country music is rich with what are called story songs, which are typically more narrative-driven and often tell a complete story from start to finish. These songs may feature a wide array of characters, conflicts, and settings, but they always have a clear plot. What is distinctive about these songs is that they usually focus on a single narrative, rather than a collection of emotional sentiments. Key features of story songs. Clear plot structure. Unlike ballads, which might focus more on emotion or abstract themes, story songs are more plot-driven, often following the classic structure of introduction, conflict, and resolution. Dialogue and character development. Some story songs include dialogue between characters or develop the characters over time, creating a sense of immersion in the narrative. Examples of story songs. "The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia" by Vicki Lawrence. A classic example of a country story song, this track tells a twisted tale of betrayal, murder, and justice. The narrative unfolds through a series of plot twists, making the song as much about suspense and storytelling as it is about the music. "The Ballad of Lucy Jordan" by Marianne Faithfull. Though not strictly a country song, this track has a narrative style that exemplifies the storytelling approach. The song tells the story of a housewife's realization that her life has not turned out the way she expected, tapping into universal feelings of regret and self-reflection. "A Boy Named Sue" by Johnny Cash. This playful yet poignant song is an example of how country music uses humor and character development to tell a story. The plot centers on a boy with a peculiar name who spends his life seeking revenge, only to discover the reason behind his name in an emotional climax. 4. Themes of country music storytelling. The themes explored in country music storytelling are often reflective of the everyday lives and struggles of its audience. These narratives are not just about entertainment, they also touch on universal human experiences. The lyrics offer an emotional connection that many listeners find cathartic, comforting, or validating. Common themes in country music storytelling. Love and heartbreak. Whether it is a song about the joy of finding love or the pain of losing it, love is a central theme in many country songs. Songs like "Jolene" by Dolly Parton or "I Cannot Stop Loving You" by Ray Charles explore the complexities of love and the emotional weight it carries. Family and loyalty. Country music frequently explores the importance of family relationships, from songs about fathers and sons like Daddy's Hands by Holly Dunn to the enduring bonds of love between siblings and parents. Work and struggle. Many country songs recount tales of working-class struggle or dreams of a better life. Songs like 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton and Coal Miner's Daughter by Loretta Lynn portray the realities of hard work and personal sacrifice, offering both a reflection on the past and hope for the future. Morality and redemption. Country songs often deal with moral dilemmas and the hope for redemption. Songs like The Gambler by Kenny Rogers and The Highwayman by The Highwaymen tell stories of choices made and consequences faced, giving listeners an opportunity to reflect on their own lives. 5. Country music influence on other genres. The storytelling tradition of country music has had a profound influence on other genres, particularly folk, pop, and rock music. Many rock and pop artists, such as Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, and Tom Petty, have drawn inspiration from the narrative-driven approach of country songs. The focus on the human condition, complex emotions, and vivid character portrayals is something that transcends genres. 6. The enduring power of storytelling in country music. The power of storytelling in country music lies in its ability to connect with listeners on a deeply personal level. Whether through the gentle rhythm of a ballad or the punchy tempo of a story song, country music invites people into a world of emotions and experiences that feel real, authentic, and relatable. These songs often evoke powerful memories, offer catharsis, and provide comfort in knowing that others have walked similar paths. In a world that increasingly values quick, superficial communication, country music remains one of the last great refuges for slow, heartfelt storytelling. It reminds us that the stories we tell, whether about love, pain, joy, or redemption, are what bind us together as human beings. And as long as country music continues to tell these stories, it will remain a genre that resonates with listeners for generations to come. The enduring appeal of classic country. Why the music lasts. Classic country music has a timeless quality that continues to captivate listeners, decades after its golden age. Whether it is the smooth vocals of Jim Reeves, the down-to-earth stories told by Johnny Cash, or the rich melodies of Patsy Cline, classic country music resonates on a deep, emotional level with people of all ages and backgrounds. This enduring appeal can be traced to several key elements that have kept classic country music alive, relevant, and influential for generations. 1. The universality of country music themes. One of the key reasons classic country music has endured is its focus on universal themes. The genre has consistently addressed real-life emotions, struggles, and experiences that resonate with people across cultures and time periods. Whether it is love, heartbreak, family, loss, or redemption, country music tells stories that are deeply relatable. 2. The power of storytelling in classic country. Storytelling is at the heart of classic country music. Many of the genre's greatest hits are built around vivid narratives that transport listeners into another world. Unlike other genres that may focus more on abstract themes or complex arrangements, country music often favors simple, straightforward tales that evoke strong emotional responses. These stories are compelling because they tap into emotions that transcend time. They depict real-life struggles, moments of triumph, and feelings of love or regret in ways that are easy to understand but deeply impactful. 3. Emotional depth and honesty. What sets classic country music apart from many other genres is its emotional honesty. Classic country artists did not hide their vulnerabilities, they put them front and center. Whether they were singing about unrequited love, personal failure, or profound sadness, their music was always genuine and deeply personal. Artists like Hank Williams, George Jones, and Patsy Cline became icons because they bared their souls through their songs, creating a deep emotional connection with their audience. The rawness and vulnerability in songs like I Am So Lonesome I Could Cry by Hank Williams or Walking After Midnight by Patsy Cline reveal a level of emotional depth that resonates with listeners who crave authenticity in music. Classic country music was never about putting on a mask or creating a perfect image. It was about expressing the truth, no matter how painful or difficult it might be. This emotional depth is a large part of what makes the music so powerful, as it gives listeners a space to reflect on their own lives, emotions, and experiences. 4. Timeless vocal delivery and instrumentation. While the lyrics and stories in classic country music are crucial, the vocal delivery and instrumentation also play a significant role in the music's enduring appeal. The smooth, deep tones of artists like Jim Reeves or Don Williams, combined with the twang of the steel guitar and the lonesome hum of fiddles, create an unmistakable sound that evokes feelings of nostalgia and comfort. The iconic instruments used in country music, such as the fiddle, steel guitar, banjo, and dobro, have an inherent warmth that draws listeners in. 5. The role of classic country in shaping modern music. Classic country's influence extends well beyond its era. The genre helped shape the development of many modern music styles, particularly country pop and Americana. Artists like Garth Brooks and Alan Jackson drew inspiration from the classic country sound, incorporating it into their own music to create a more contemporary sound that still maintained the storytelling and emotional depth of its roots. Additionally, classic country has had a significant influence on rock and folk music. Artists such as Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, and the Byrds were all influenced by the storytelling traditions and simplicity of country music, and many of them blended those elements into their own work. The crossover appeal of classic country shows how universal and adaptable its themes are, extending far beyond the confines of one genre. 6. Country music as a connection to the past. Another reason classic country endures is its role as a connection to the past, particularly for people who want to reconnect with simpler times or preserve the traditions of their youth. The music has a nostalgic quality that allows listeners to remember bygone eras, whether that is their own childhood or the earlier days of the genre. Songs like Take Me Home, Country Roads by John Denver or I Walk the Line by Johnny Cash can evoke powerful memories of a simpler, more rural existence. For many, classic country music represents a connection to family, heritage, and shared experiences. The themes of work, home, and loyalty are deeply ingrained in American culture, and classic country songs reflect and preserve that culture for future generations. 7. The continued popularity of classic country radio. Even as country music has evolved over the decades, classic country continues to thrive through dedicated radio stations, streaming playlists, and television specials. In fact, the demand for classic country music is often strong, especially among older generations who grew up with the music, but also with younger listeners discovering it for the first time. Platforms like Classic Country Station, Spotify playlists, and YouTube channels dedicated to vintage country hits ensure that classic country remains accessible to all audiences. Conclusion: a timeless sound for all generations. The enduring appeal of classic country can be traced to its timeless storytelling, emotional honesty, relatable themes, and simple yet beautiful instrumentation. It speaks to the heart of human experience, addressing emotions and struggles that are shared across generations. Whether through heartbreak, hope, or nostalgia, classic country music offers listeners a window into a world of authenticity and raw emotion, making it a genre that remains vital and loved by fans old and new. In a world of fast-paced pop hits and ever-changing trends, classic country stands as a pillar of emotional depth, resonating with listeners who continue to seek connection, simplicity, and storytelling through music. And as long as these universal themes continue to speak to the human heart, classic country will remain an essential and cherished part of the musical landscape. Thank you for your attention. For more related videos, please subscribe the channel Benjamin.